Bobcat Field tonight. Corning Bobcats play host to the Palestine Wheatley. What is Palestine Wheatley?
Palestine Wheatley are the Patriots.
The Patriots. Okay. Thank you, Andy.
Hey, my fault on the audio, guys. That's me.
Okay.
Rookie mistakes my first night.
David, let's start all over here. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Okay, this is a reboot. As I understand it, they couldn't hear us the first time.
Take two.
Yep. They couldn't hear us the first time. So.
I could have said anything in that intro.
You could have. You could have. We should have.
I think you talked about how great I was, I think.
Okay, if everybody can hear us, then I'll go ahead. Rich was asking me, about my background or connections to Corning, and of course I grew up here like so many people did. I graduated in 1980 from Corning High School and had a lot of fond memories there, and I still know a lot of people in town. Now I live in Springdale, though. In Springdale, Arkansas, almost all the way to Oklahoma, but I'm in no way a fan of the state of Oklahoma. It's not a bad place, but it's not Arkansas.
Right.
And so that's about 5 hours from here, so I don't get back to Corning as often as I used to, but I still like it when I get to come and to see family and friends.
Before you came tonight for this interview, you had a book signing at the library, right?
I did. That was this morning.
This morning?
Had several folks show up. Sold a few books too, but even more important, we got to visit with people that came in, and some classmates, and there may be a picture coming up in the Coulier. I don't know. They took a picture of me and some guys that were there that I graduated with. So that was kind of neat. And of course, the book itself is about Corning. So if you get to celebrate some Corning connections, that's kind of one of the themes of the book.
This isn't your first book.
No, I've written a few because I did newspaper columns for many years, had a career in education, and wrote a lot of things that were education related, but other topics too. And so I had 2 or 3 books. One was about football and reminiscing on some things about watching football with my dad growing up. But this particular book is called I Grew Up in a Small Town, and it's all about Corning. It's got a lot of Corning history. It's got a lot of Corning memories. It's got you in it, doesn't it, Rich?
Yes, it does. It's really a good book.
It's got a lot of, I got to talk to at least 20, well, a lot more people than that, but 20 people. We had formal interviews for their part in recollecting some things about Corning. And so it was really good. I could have written the book just based on my memories and some historical research, but to have the input of so many other people in town, I think it just enriched the whole thing.
It sure did. Hey, I'm hearing that later we have Ronnie Burns coming in to speak more in depth about something that y'all are, the alumni is putting together. It's a scholarship fund. Can you elaborate on that for a little bit?
Yes.
Well, before you elaborate, tell us what made you want to do this.
Well, we need to give most of the credit for this to Ronnie Burns, and this is called the Corning Alumni Scholarship Fund. And yesterday, we actually met at First National Bank in Corning, and we set up an account with that name on it. And we've already got some money in there to go towards scholarships. We want to give at least one scholarship away to a deserving Corning grad each year. And we are intending to help a young person as they enter college or as they enter a vocational type setting. But it came about, to answer your question, years ago, 5 years ago at least, maybe longer than that. Ronnie brought this up and said we should all kick in some money and let's provide a scholarship for some of these kids that, were in our, we walked their pathway many years ago.
Right.
Starting college, we needed some help. So we want to help some young person in Corning each year. And so the idea has been there for quite a while, and this year was really the first time that we got around to making it a reality. And we've been talking to some people in town. I mean, anybody can contribute to this.
Right.
Anybody who is from Corning or still lives in Corning or who just wants to help can contribute to this. And if they do, they should make the check out to the Corning Alumni Scholarship Fund.
And just go to the bank and deposit.
You just go to the bank, deposit it yourself. Now, if you need to give it to me or to Ronnie or Paige Cat is here in town, she can handle it. She's going to be a part of this. So we're really proud and optimistic about how this could be an annual thing. So we're getting it started this year, and we hope a lot of people can take part.
You yourself were a Bobcat. I know you played, but what position did you play?
In football, I played center, starting center, and I was defensive tackle, but I didn't see as much action in that role. But I got to hike the ball. Started in that role 2 years in my high school experience. Sure was a lot of fun.
You played under Coach Campbell?
I did,
yeah.
And that was some good memories there. He just had the ability to, and in my case especially, I just felt like I didn't ever want to do anything to disappoint him.
Right.
He put a lot into it. He expected us to put everything we had into it, and it was, I've told people before that I learned some things playing football that I might not have ever learned anywhere else.
Sure.
And so it was a good experience. I've said before too that it's really one of the most enjoyable things that I ever did growing up.
Do you have a Bobcat memory, something that sticks out in your head that you probably will never forget, or something that you'd like to bring up?
There's a lot of things I'll never forget, so it's hard for me to hone in on one. But I guess the biggest wins, my senior year, Highland was ranked highly in the state. We weren't supposed to beat them,
right.
But we did. Right out here on this field, it was soaking wet. It had rained all week, or at least a couple of days before the game. The field was just like a big sponge full of water.
Right.
And we defeated them 6-0. And so that's a big win, and it's a big memory. And funny story along with that, our only scorer, you said you're going to talk to Ronnie Burns later.
Right.
He was our quarterback. His twin brother, Donnie, was one of the running backs, and we had one play where Ronnie just threw the ball to Donnie. Donnie turned, and one tackler missed him, and he went all the way down that far sideline for a touchdown. And we won 6-0. But we were all celebrating. We were excited. I ran all the way down the field behind him, just as excited as I could be.
Right.
Because I knew he was going to score. And we were all like celebrating, coming to get ready for an extra point, and so on. And Ronnie and Donnie got in an argument. Something was said. Of course, they were, twins and
right.
brothers, and they always were at each other. But Donnie complained about the pass, or it wasn't good enough, and Ronnie said, "It's a miracle you caught it anyway." All this was
right.
being said
right.
on the field, and we just scored a touchdown to beat one of the top teams in the state in our class. So that was a good memory, and fortunately we held on and won that game. Later that year, we won against Walnut Ridge, who was also a team we were not supposed to beat. And I wrote about that particular one in the book. Ended up defeating Walnut Ridge 16-7, and they were probably stronger than us, had some people more talented than us, but things went our way that night. So yeah,
back in the day, Highland was a big rivalry,
mm-hmm.
and Walnut Ridge was a big rivalry,
mm-hmm.
and of course Piggott was a big rivalry.
Yes, Piggott was a big rivalry, but fortunately during the 1970s, Piggott just couldn't beat Corning.
Right.
And we knew that, and they knew that, and
right.
It kind of made it nice. I mean, we beat them. I think it was like 16, 17 years in a row. Corning defeated Piggott, and people in Corning like that. And I think I put in the book that at one point Coach Campbell said that he told us how important it was to be playing Piggott. He said, there's some people in town in Corning that, they got beat by Piggott in years past, and
sure.
they didn't like it. And he said there's some people in Corning that they don't even care if Piggott ever scores again against Corning.
Right.
And it was a big deal, like you said, a rivalry. But fortunately, there was several years there where Corning got the best of them.
You made the comment earlier that you don't get back much. It is a great distance
mm-hmm.
to get back. But do you watch us on CSR?
I do, and I check in a lot of nights. Even if I'm not where I can sit down and watch the whole game, I want to check in with it. And I appreciate what you guys do because it's really cool. You can jump in there and see exactly how Corning is doing at that moment.
Sure.
And I appreciate it. I'm sure I don't speak just for myself. I mean, a lot of people in Corning, you guys know this, they tune in from elsewhere. So it's a good thing that you're doing. I think it's great for the school and great for Corning.
Well, if you're watching this tonight or if you're watching the game, please be sure and share. Share it. Get the word out. Corning Sports Report, Redline Media. We want you to share it. David, thank you very much for coming tonight, and we sure appreciate it. Before we go, I say Palestine. Some people say Palestine. Wheatley, give me a prediction.
Well, I can never pick against Corning, and I don't intend to tonight. You want me to? I can just guess on a score if you want me to.
Sure, sure.
All right, I'm just going to go out on a limb here. I say Corning wins tonight, 38-6. How's that sound?
38-6. That sounds fantastic to me.
All right.
Thank you, Dave.
How much money do I get if I hit it on the nose?
If you hit it on the nose, you have to see Andy.
All right.
Andy will pay you.
I can do that.